Our film is about a couple who find a very strange baby girl who is half human and half sheep, so they decide to. They raise her and consider her their daughter, and in the dramatic context, very strange things happen that you will know about. With me in the movie, he begins with a simple farmer. His name is Ingvar and his wife Maria, and we know that they live in a rural area in New Zealand and they have a farm. It is simple, they raise sheep and all their work depends on agriculture and selling crops, and despite their financial situation is stable, but they live a very poor life and feel lonely because of their daughter. She died a long time ago and since then they have not had children. One day they enter the stable to give birth. The lamb is surprised that she gave birth to a little lamb, half human and half lamb, so Maria takes her home. She takes care of her and treats her like she is her own daughter. She keeps taking her away from her mother, the lamb, and names her Edda. Her husband, Ingvar, goes to bring a baby crib and puts a bottle in it. Ingvar notices how much Maria cares. After a while, Ingvar goes to finish his work on the farm and cries because he misses her. The girl died and he doesn't. She understood the idea that they were interested in a sheep and considered it their daughter. While Maria was outside the house, she heard a sound. Strange, you go to see what's up and you're surprised that the lamb's mother is standing at her window and wants to. She sees her daughter, but Maria takes her back to the stable again and refuses to let her see her. The next day, she goes out. Marie goes to collect the farm's crops and asks Ingvar to take care of her when she gets home. She feels very quiet in the place, so she asks Ingvar how she is, and he tells her that she must be asleep, but when they enter the room and find her not there. After searching they find Edda standing with her mother, the lamb, so Maria hugs her from the cold, and we see Edda. In his child's body, there is a sheep's head, so Ingvar covers it with his jacket to keep it warm from the cold, and then they take her and leave, and her mother the sheep walks behind them, feeling sorry for her daughter. As soon as she sees her, it's comfortable to yell at her to make her leave. Then they go back home and put a prayer mat on her bed, but they are shocked when they see that her hands resemble human hands. As days pass, she grows and they take care of her more than before, and every day they become more attached to her, so she wakes up afraid that if she leaves, then she takes the gun and goes to kill her mother, the sheep, and then takes her body away from the house to bury her and thus be assured that no one will ever take her from her. At that moment, Peter will be her husband's brother, Ingvar, is standing far away and watching everything that is happening. He is very surprised at the reason that made Maria. He kills the sheep and buries it far away. The next day, Ingvar wakes up and finds his brother Peter sleeping in the stable. He tells him that he arrived late and did not want to wake them up. He enters the house, greets Maria, and she goes to make them breakfast. Then they meet Eddie and she tells him that she is their daughter, so Peter understands that the sheep that was killed him. This is his mother, and he does not understand that she is a child with the head of a sheep, so he goes out to talk to his brother and tries. He makes him understand that everything they are doing is wrong because he is just an animal, and before he can finish his words, they interrupt him. Ingvar asks him not to interfere in their privacy, and it is clear to Ingvar that he is not convinced by his words. He is forced to do this so as not to kill his wife Sada. Then Maria comes with Ada and tells her to consult to her uncle Peter to prove to him that she understands what they are saying, but he does not understand that Maria and Ingvar. They treat the matter seriously as if she is really their daughter. At night, Maria talks to Ingvar's husband and asks him about the reason that made his brother Peter visit them, and it was very clear to her that she did not love Peter at all. And secondly, one day they all go to work on the tractor on the farm, and after a while they sit down to rest, so Peter tries to do this. He approaches her one by one, but she pushes him away and tells him that everything he does is wrong, of course. If his brother saw him, he would cause him trouble, so he would make fun of her words and tell her, so you are raising sheep on the basis that she is your daughter and she thinks what I am doing is wrong. Then they go to clean the stable and Peter sees she looked at him and gave him some grass to eat. As soon as she ate the grass, Peter was sure that what he was saying was true. Right, she's just a sheep, nothing more. Then Ingvar comes and takes Audie and asks Peter, why are you treating her like that? It's not good, so he tells him that she is just an animal and that he and his wife are living in a delusion and they need to wake up from it immediately, but he ignores her. Ingvar talks to him and leaves him and walks away. When he and his wife sleep, Peter goes to get some medicine and they go out. From home, he takes the gun with him to kill her and get rid of her completely. This is because he sees that she is the reason for all the suffering in his brother Ingvar's life, but the strange thing is, the point is that Peter can't kill her and he feels guilty towards her because she's just a child. Maria wakes up and doesn't find Ada in her room. She gets very worried about her, so she quickly goes to Peter, but you are surprised when you find him holding her hand in his arms while they are both sleeping. After a while, she and her hand leave to the grave of her real daughter who died, and although she loves Ada, she has not yet moved on. She is sad about her daughter, and when they return home, Ingvar tells her the story of her mother to make her sleep. I don't know his feelings towards her. This is because she is just a sheep and does not speak. The next day, Peter goes to the river to warm up. Finally, he accepts her presence and loves her. Of course, Alkamaria is very happy that Peter loves her and that his love is increasing. She gets more attached to him, and then Peter talks to Ada and tells her that he feels lonely and says he feels that she understands what he is saying and that one day she might speak like a human being. Then they go back home and he sits with his brother Ingvar, and of course he apologizes to him for what he did. In a way that was not good before, Ingvar accepts his apology. He offers to watch a football match and have a good time. And indeed, they sit and watch the match, and Maria and Adi sit with them and try to interfere with human life and share all their moments, and then Maria plays an old video of Peter. They all reminisce about their memories together, play songs, dance, and Ada dances with them. I am very happy. For the first time, they are happy and overcome their sadness over their daughter who died. Ada goes out to get some fresh air and stands next to her dog, but suddenly she sees someone at the farm, so she moves. She and the dog are towards him, but she doesn't find anyone, and then the dog disappears completely, and it becomes clear that something happens, so she returns home again and finds her family all asleep, so she goes to sleep with Ingvar, whom she considers more than her father, and the next day Peter enters the kitchen with Maria and tries to get close to her again. As usual, Maria refuses, so Peter tells her that he saw her killing the sheep and threatens her. He will tell her everything if she doesn't get close to him, so of course Maria will have to agree, and then she takes him to the storeroom and suddenly opens the door, but she locks him inside the storeroom until he wakes up from the sugar in it, and you know that she will never betray her husband no matter what happens, and Maria intervenes Ingvar's room to make sure she's okay, and when she's sure her husband Ingvar is asleep, she goes to the storeroom to Peter and asks him to pack all his things and tells him that she is waiting for him in the car, and he gets in the car with Marie and moving far from home until they reach the highway. Then Maria tells him that his brother Ingvar is a good person. Very much so, he does not deserve to be betrayed. You should know that this is a gift from God to them so that they can forget all the sadness. He will ruin their whole lives, so Peter agrees and apologizes to her for everything he did to her, then he takes her and leaves. At that time, Ingvar goes out to walk together until they reach the farm and they recognize Ingvar the way home, so if she gets lost, she can come back again. Maria returns home and is very happy, because I finally got rid of Peter who was causing them problems, but as soon as she entered the house, she didn't find him. Ingvar's husband is in the house, but she hears a gunshot from outside the house, so she quickly goes out to see the source. The sound, and we see Ingvar holding his neck and bleeding because someone shot him in the neck, but we are surprised. This person is Ada, and she came back from the dead again, transformed into half human and half sheep, like Ada. Exactly like that, she throws the gun and takes her daughter, and she feels very relieved because she was elected from the ones who they kidnapped her daughter, but she might be very affected by Ingvar's mood and doesn't want to leave him at all, because she loved him and considered him more than her father. After a while, Maria arrived at the place where the shooting took place. She is shocked when she sees Ingvar lying in his blood and asks him who did this to her, and he says to her his mother came back again and wanted to take her rights, and then he died, so Maria collapsed because she lost everything. Her husband, and she also lost Eddie, so Mary has no one to live with, and she discovers that his father is in the base was half human and half sheep, and she was pretending all this time and acting like a sheep, and this is the explanation. The only one of his children, he was half human and half sheep. The movie is over. I hope that if you like it, you will appreciate our efforts and do something about it. Like the video, subscribe to the channel, and don't forget to follow us on Facebook, Instagram, and TikTok. I will see you in another movie. Bye.